Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Rosme, where learning English is easy, slow, and fun. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Rose. Hello, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here with all of you today.
Rose, I have to ask you something before we begin today's story. Do you remember your very first day in a real English classroom?
Oh, Caleb, how could I ever forget? My heart was beating so fast inside my chest. I sat in the very back row, hoping the teacher would not see me.
The back row, that is the classic hiding spot for nervous students. I used to do the exact same thing in high school.
Right? You sit quietly, you open your notebook, and you pretend to look very busy so the teacher doesn't call your name. But then it happened.
What happened, Rose? Tell us the story.
The teacher, Mr. Davis, adjusted his glasses, looked straight across the room at me, and said loudly, "Rose, stand up. Please introduce yourself to the class."
Oh, Rose, stand up. Those 3 words can feel so scary when you're a beginner. What went through your head at that exact moment?
Complete silence in the room. All 30 students turned their heads and looked right at me. My hands were shaking and my mind went completely blank.
That feeling is so common, Rose. So many of our listeners feel that exact same panic when someone asks them to speak English in front of people.
Exactly. And that is why today's episode is all about overcoming that fear. We are going to walk through that classroom story step by step and teach you how to introduce yourself clearly, slowly, and with total confidence.
By the end of today's lesson, if someone says, stand up and introduce yourself, you won't feel scared at all. You will be completely ready.
Yes, so sit back, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, and let's jump back into that classroom memory.
Okay, Rose, so you were standing up in front of 30 students. What was the very first sentence you managed to say?
I stood up, took a breath, smiled at Mr. Davis, and said, "Hello, everyone. My name is Rose."
Perfect. That is the absolute best way to start. Simple, clear, and direct. Hello, everyone. My name is Rose.
Exactly. You don't need fancy vocabulary when you start. A simple greeting like "Hello, everyone" or "Good morning, class" immediately sets a friendly tone.
Right. Let's practice that basic opening for a second. You can say, my name is Rose, or you can also say, I'm Rose. Both are completely correct.
My name is sounds a little more natural when introducing yourself to a group, while I'm is great for quick casual greetings.
Curious, what did Mr. Davis ask you next after you stated your name?
He gave me an encouraging smile and asked, "Nice to meet you, Rose. Where are you from?"
Where are you from? That is usually the very second question people ask in an introduction.
Yes, and I answered, "I am from Canada. I live in a small, quiet town near the mountains."
That sounds so peaceful. Notice how Rose didn't just give a one-word answer like Canada. She added a tiny detail. I live in a small, quiet town.
Adding just one extra detail makes your response feel like a real conversation rather than an interrogation.
Exactly. If someone asks where you are from, you can say, I am from Brazil, and then add, I live in a big, busy city. It paints a picture in the listener's mind.
After I shared where I lived, Mr. Davis asked the whole class to lean in and listen closely. Then he asked, "Rose, what do you do and why are you taking this class?"
Oh, asking about your job or your reason for learning. That's a great classroom topic. How did you explain your background back then?
I said, "I am an art student. I love painting and drawing. I'm taking this English class because I want to travel and share my art with people around the world."
Wow, Rose, that is such a clear and inspiring answer. You gave your job, your passion, and your goal all in 2 simple sentences.
Well, to be honest, Caleb, I stumbled on the word travel at first, but Mr. Davis was very patient. He nodded gently and let me finish my sentence.
That is such an important reminder for all our English learners out there. People are usually much more patient than we think. Nobody expects you to speak perfectly when you're learning.
Absolutely. The goal of speaking English is not perfection, it is connection. As long as the other person understands your idea, you have succeeded.
Before we continue with the story, let's take a short break for our favorite segment, pocket words.
Yes, pocket words are key vocabulary items you can put right in your pocket and pull out whenever you need them in conversation.
Word number 1 today is introduce.
Introduce. To introduce yourself means to tell your name and basic details about who you are. For example, I would like to introduce myself to the new team.
Word number 2 is nervous.
Nervous, feeling worried or anxious about something you are about to do. For example, I felt very nervous before standing up in class.
Word number 3 is background.
Background, your past experiences, education, or culture. For example, she gave a brief description of her personal background.
Word number 4 is confidence.
Confidence, the belief that you can do something well without fear. For example, with daily practice, your speaking confidence will grow.
And word number 5 is patient.
Patient, being able to wait or listen calmly without getting upset or annoyed. For example, our English teacher is always very patient with us.
5 wonderful pocket words: introduce, nervous, background, confidence, and patient. Try using one of these in a sentence today.
Now it's time for our next segment, Smooth It Out.
This is where we take slightly awkward or common mistakes from English learners and polish them up to sound smooth and natural.
Here's the first sentence I often hear from beginners during introductions. My name is Rose. I am coming from Canada.
While people will understand you, saying "I am coming from" sounds like you are currently on a train arriving right now.
Exactly. To smooth it out, simply say, I'm from Canada, or I come from Canada. Keep it short and clean.
Perfect. Here's the second sentence. I am student of art.
In English, when you state your job or role, remember to include the article a or an.
So to smooth it out, we say I am an art student or I am a teacher.
And sentence number 3, I learn English for travel to America.
Close. When stating your goal using for, we usually use to plus the verb base when expressing purpose.
To smooth it out, say, I am learning English to travel to America. It flows so much better.
Back to your classroom story, Rose. So after you shared your name, location, job, and goals, what happened next in front of the class?
Something magical happened, Caleb. As soon as I finished my last sentence, Mr. Davis started clapping his hands gently, and then the entire class clapped too.
That must have felt like such a huge weight lifting off your shoulders.
It truly was. A classmate sitting in the front row, a friendly guy named Caleb, turned around, smiled, and said, Great job, Rose.
Wait a minute, was that friendly classmate actually me?
Yes, Caleb. That was the very day you and I first became friends in English class.
Wow, I remember that now. You spoke so clearly and bravely. Seeing you stand up inspired me to raise my hand and introduce myself right after you.
Tells me that is the power of taking that first step. When you show courage in a classroom, you encourage everyone else around you to speak up too.
Let's put everything we learned today into a complete model practice conversation so our listeners can practice along with us.
Great idea. Caleb, you play the role of the encouraging English teacher, Mr. Davis, and I'll play Rose standing up in class.
Good morning, class. Today we have a new student joining us. Rose, could you please stand up and introduce yourself to everyone?
Good morning, Mr. Davis. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rose. I am very happy to be here today.
It is wonderful to have you, Rose. Could you tell us where you were from and what you do?
Of course. I am from Canada, and I live in a quiet town near the mountains. I am an art student, so I love drawing and painting in my free time.
Fantastic. And what is your main goal for taking this English class?
I'm learning English to improve my communication skills and travel around the world to share my art.
Thank you so much, Rose. That was a wonderful introduction. Class, let's give Rose a warm welcome.
And scene. Look how easy, structured, and pleasant that introduction sounds.
You can use this exact template whenever you need to introduce yourself in class, at work, or online.
Just remember the 4 easy building blocks. Greeting and name, hello everyone, my name is. Origin, I'm from and I live in. Role or hobby, I am a or I like. And goal, I'm learning English to.
Now it's time for our question of the day. We want to hear from every single person listening to this podcast right now.
Yes, go down to the comment section right below this video and write your own introduction using our 4 building blocks.
Write 1 or 2 simple sentences telling us your name, where you are from, and why you are learning English with us. Rose and I read every single comment.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe to English with Rosme, and share this video with a friend who's practicing English too.
Your support helps our community grow every single day, allowing us to bring you more simple, slow, and relaxing English lessons.
Just remember to practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and remember to smile when you speak. You are doing an amazing job.
Until next time, take care, stay confident, and happy learning.
Bye, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Goodbye.